Say glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down, I got a new walk and I got a new talk. Since I laid my burdens down, say I got a new walk and I got a new talk. Since I laid my burdens down, 'cause I am going to be with Jesus. Since I laid my burdens down, I said I am going to be with Jesus. Since I laid my burdens down. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? All right. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen at me, Papa G. You know, I wanted to open up with that today because I really want this community conversation that we're having about the abuse of fatherhood, the willing participation of the Attorney General, the local, state, and federal government, all being complicit in the act of trying to sabotage the American family by setting a monetary gain for the mother and limiting the father's access to the child, when all factual bases say that if a decision has to be made between giving the child to the mother or the father, you should give the child to the father. So we're going to examine that today. The community conversation that we're having today is exposing the bully. And who is the bully? The bully is child support. And we're talking about the things that child support knows and they are intentionally doing to create unsafe communities, to keep the criminal justice system full of business, to keep the penitentiaries full, to keep the state penitentiaries full, the federal, to keep the graveyard running with business. All of these things, they are contributing to and cycling through. And on top of it, it's a huge slush fund for every state to enjoy and spend at the abuse of fatherhood. Okay? So today I'm going to delve off into what are some common sense facts that are out there, broadly accepted, broadly known, and put in print. Okay, I'm not just going to tell from my experience, but I'm going to show you how bold they are. Okay, so what happens when a boy doesn't have a male role model, right? This puts them at an advantage over children with no real men figures in their lives, especially children raised by single mothers. Boys who become men without positive male role models in their lives are often more likely to end in a life of crime, in jail, or as addicts and participating in risk-taking behavior. Now, guess what? You can't argue with nothing. I just say it because what I'm talking about, these are studies. What does that mean? That means that there are people of learning who have taken the time to see what are the outcomes of different environmental circumstances to human beings in a long-term effect manner. You understand? And then they turn around and they put it in print for you. So you can't say like, he don't know what he talking about. He just on that running his mouth. He want to be big. He want to be. See what the problem really is, okay, is that we have gotten used to letting people tell us what the facts are and not being willing to research and learn the facts for ourselves. Then you go along doing things wrong for so long that it becomes customary and common to you, and you taking it as correct, and it's the opposite. Okay, so let's entertain another question. Okay, and it says, so what is the importance of a male role model in a boy's life? Okay, the influence of a significant male role model starts in early childhood. Having a strong figure for support and guidance increases your ability to form trusting relationships and builds your capacity to interact positively with others. So you see how, because he's a male, interacting with a male early in life in a positive manner helps him to have good social skills later in life. Because I've often said, what happens to a young man who grow up without receiving love from another man, a positive male role model in his life? And the answer is, every male then becomes his foe. We all know this to be true, okay? But you cannot continue to give the children to the ladies knowing that this is the wrong thing and not open your mouth and say, we know we're doing the wrong thing. So that's why I gotta just keep on working the jab, overhand right. You understand me? You know, work the jab, body blow, body blow, body blow. And I'm just gonna keep giving them to you today, baby. You feel me? So how can negative role models affect children? Okay, let's look at that. Because you see, you got all those different men that you done been through, and they coming in and they whatever their title is. I'm not about to be slinging that, swinging that, singing that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm the wrong one to come at. And so whatever you choose to do, you know, whatever thug, gangster, whatever it is that you like, just understand that this is the effects of having those type of people around your young and impressionable children instead of having that boy with his father, okay? These negative role models have been linked to externalizing behaviors such as violent and non-violent delinquency, internalizing behaviors such as feelings of anxiety and depression, and substance use behaviors. You understand? So now you just opened up the door with these negative male role models, in their life to violent and non-violent delinquency. You're already dealing with behavior problems. You understand? Okay. So then we say, what are the positive role model important? Why are positive role models important for children? All right. The importance of a good role model is simple. When a child has a positive role model, they are likely to engage in constructive actions like the person they look up to. That makes sense to you? Because it makes sense to me. Key to their development, children who have positive role models will pick up habits and even perspectives of adults that could last a lifetime. And I know that to be true because I have this saying that I used to say to my sons all the time. I used to say, know the rules, love the rules, thrive within the rules. And my sons still say that saying today. You understand? Because I let them know it ain't no breaking the rules. Now, here is a killer question. Because see, I'm just I want you to understand that child support understands, the attorney general understands, the local government understands, the governor, the mayor, the federal government, all these people are in possession of this knowledge, and they understand exactly how they are creating these broken communities and how they are creating revenue for immigrants to come over through the broken communities, through giving them food stamps and welfare, and then creating the labor loss on Americans by using slavery. But that's, the whole thing is, like I said, it's by design. All right. But that's why we need to get back control of our families. And as Christians, we have to say no more. The courts can no longer have the institution of traditional marriage. The court can deal with homosexual marriage. The court can deal with all those other instances that have grown and man have a valid argument for it. But we are in the world, but we are not of the world. We don't want to be doing the things of the world. We have enough to wrestle with, okay? Because we are not perfect. We wrestle with sin every day, all right? But to just all out go against the institution of marriage and just sit here and be quiet, all right, while it's destroying the American family through taking fatherhood away and making fatherhood a penalty to where men have to pay for having children, but don't get a chance to lead, influence, and direct their seed. And that goes against a man's nature to be paying for something that he can't control. Just like it's against the natural order of things for a man to not be in charge of his family. We've discussed this over and over and over again, and we have today's results to prove that what I'm saying is so. Do boys need male influence? While a male or female figure can influence young women in their life, men require father figures when growing up. When growing up, boys require a father figure in their life, as this has been found to contribute positively through the child's academic and social development. Time and time and time again, they keep telling you, we factually know that a child will not develop into the person that they're supposed to be without their father in their life. So then you say, if this is in print and in redundancy, that means that the attorney general knows, the governor knows. You understand me? The state, federal, local government, they know. They are intentionally doing this to us. They're intentionally doing this to us because they have big money invested in jail. They got big money invested in incarceration. They got big money invested in a lot of things like people receiving low-income housing and the programs, the money that's generated to it. So they don't want us to truly achieve independence and achieve the American dream. They want to keep us crippled. And the proof is in the pudding because, like I said, you're not going to find any time where the study is saying a child's development will be better off if they don't have the positive male role model in their life, especially when you're talking about a male. So why would you, when there is no fact, none that support what you're doing, give the male children to the women? Why? I know why. When I did something wrong, why I was doing it wrong. And I knew I was doing wrong when I was doing it. That's why I was sneaking and doing it. I just didn't have the power to trick somebody and make them think that I was doing right when I was doing wrong. I ain't never had that power, But we're going to move on, because let's see here. What are the positive and negative effects? No. We're going to move on because why are men important? Men are a family's liaison to the world that exists outside of the family's immediate environment. As a result, they offer very valuable life lessons on how one should navigate the world that exists outside of one's environment. For example, the world's business and politics. Our sons need fathers. Listen, we can go, I have so many studies, hundreds. There are none that support the mother being the head of the household. And the reason there are none that support the mother being the head of the household because the Creator did not ordain it that way. The Creator said that the father was the head of the household. And this is long before people had all these degrees and professions and all this other kind of old jazz and everything. The basic simple truth on how to create a good society. And I mean, think about it. They didn't have jails. They didn't have all this stuff. So they had to have order because they didn't want the women to be being victimized or the young ladies to be victimized or, the children to be stolen or anything like that. We're talking about before, talking about in biblical times, just briefly. Okay? And these people understood how to create a civil society, and they did. And the reason we know they did is because we're sitting here today. So why does the Attorney General and the child support enforcement people turn around and go against the common fact that has persisted over time and try and give our children to the women, knowing the chaos and the turmoil that's going to happen? Now, you know what, though? I'm not going to be biased. I talked about what, going on when you have the positive male role model in your life. So let's see if they know what happens to a child who grows up with no positive male role model in his life. Let's see. This should be interesting. Boys who become men without positive male role models in their lives are often more likely to end in a life of crime. It's in big print too. In jail or as addicts and participating in high risk-taking behavior. It's just so fitting. Like Kevin Samuels used to say, you cannot make this shit up. And it's like common sense right in our face. Right in our face. I'm trying to get a fight started. You say, Gil, why you on here saying all this? Why you on here talking about this? Because, I'm trying to get a fight started. A good fight. I'm trying to get fathers' rights established. It's clear that we are being discriminated against. It's clear that we are being fleeced for our funds. It's clear that there is a agenda behind what's going on. And we have to stand up and speak out and say we are parents and we are ready to accept our responsibility for our children. And we want the burden of first parental right. Okay? We have never been given that. All right? Because politicians and the people who established it, they crooks, that they got a chance to do it. So it would have been different if the public would have been able to hear what the scientific and medical facts were, and then the public were able to make an informed decision based upon the studies and the facts. But that's not what happened. So now we have to come back and address this situation. And we have to address this situation using the unbiased studies that have been done since 1975 to prove that the government full well knows that they are destroying the American fabric, the American family, and in the name of $1. And I mean, imagine how big this slush fund is. This kitty is so big, every father in America who gets a divorce, they got it set now to where it's automatic you go on child support. You realize, and look at the magnitude of the violation. You know, please, if you're a minister, if you are a leader, an organizer, somebody who can help me to get my message out in a larger platform, to help me get this fight going, to help me really stir this pot, boil this water. You know, I want to get this iron white hot. You know, I want all fathers to have father's tales, and it's time for a father's tale. So my sons, they started talking to me right about 1 or a little bit before 1 year old. They started really acknowledging and trying to say words and saying words and, you know, getting into it, you know. And I was always engaging with them, though, trying to encourage them to talk, because I really looked forward to when we gonna be able to communicate. You know, it's something when they just sitting there, they quiet, they silent. You know, every now and then you hear them cry, so you know what their voice sound like, but they can't talk, so you can't communicate. So you know you're anxious about that time when it happens. And we finally get there, and we get there at the same time where it's clear that they understand and can be pot trained. And so I went out and I bought 2 pots. And boy pots is different than girl pots, because boy pots got the little part that go around on the top like that, so it can catch their little wee when it, you know, shoot the pea and keep it from shooting straight up on the floor. All right? See, if you have not been able to raise your children, you don't know that detail and a whole lot of other shit. But anyway, so I made up this song, okay? And I had our bathroom times down pat. Soon as you wake up in the morning, I wake them up in the morning, because I always been an early bird, wake up at like 4, 5 in the morning pretty much. So I get up long before them. I wake them up at like 6:30. And I had my little song. Here we go. Pee-pee on the pot, ha. Poo-poo on the pot, yay. Pee-pee on the pot, ha. Poo-poo on the pot, yay. And we would do that little dance all the way to the bathroom, you know, all the way. And I would sit down on the toilet. They would sit down on the toilet, you know, and I would use the bathroom. And then I would be like, Franklin, have you used the bathroom yet? And then Franklin would be like, yes, sir. And I'd be like, Devontae, have you used the bathroom yet? And Devontae would be like, no, sir. And then I'd be like, I guess we sitting here waiting on Devontae now, huh, Frank? And Frank would look at Devontae and be like, Devontae, what you waiting on? You know what I'm saying? And so we would sit there, and, you know, sometimes it'll be vice versa. And so after we used the bathroom, then I would clap. I would say, yay! And everybody would get up, you know, and if I had to clean them, I would clean them and, you know, take care of myself as well after I got them out the bathroom, you know. And I went to the bathroom with them until they was able to go to the bathroom on their own. And in doing it that way, it was beautiful, it was fun, and I didn't have to pass nail spanking behind the situation, because they could talk. And since they could talk, we communicated all the time. All right. And that's just how it was, So, and even if they say they didn't have to use the bathroom, when it was bathroom time, we went to the bathroom. So we went to the bathroom when they woke up. Okay. And then let's say about, 10:30, 11 o'clock. All right. I'm singing the song. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Pee pee on the pot, ha. Poo poo on the pot, yay. Pee pee on the pot, ha. And wherever they was, I would come up singing that song. And then I would turn around and start walking to the bathroom. And we would be walking to the bathroom singing that song. You understand me? This is invaluable. That can never be taken from me. It's a reason why I can sit here humbly and peaceful today, because my journey is complete. I'm looking forward to enjoying my grandbabies because I've worked hard for this. This is what child support and the Attorney General and the federal government and the local state government, they don't want you to experience. And the motive behind them not wanting you to experience it is the money that they can get from you at this moment of weakness when you and your lady separate. So we have to start making it a common practice to draw up a contract of paternity. Whenever you enter into a relationship with a lady or a man, and it should spell out how the children will be taken care of if any children are conceived in this union. This way, it's already legalized and documented. The courts' hands are tied. They can't enter, they can't do anything. You understand? We have to get the Attorney General and child support out of marriage. We have to get them out of the dispensation of the children. We have to get a federal law saying that when a husband and wife separate, that the children belong to the man for the good of society, for the good of humanity. If we want to have a strong fighting force, if we want to have it just to continue to exist. Big business, corporate America, is now taking away all of the morality of America. There was a young lady, Nia Long, I believe that's who she is, who said when she was in high school, she had a 30-year-old boyfriend. Now, if a man sat on the television and said when he was 30 years old, he was going with a girl that was in high school, that would be the footage that would be used to prosecute him. This is the way they smart. They introducing pedophilia. You understand me? They doing it through liberal women. They doing it through women who they have stripped of all morality. Okay? Just like you see these women who stealing these children and selling them into sex slavery. And they are the ones who lay on the table and put their life on the line to have a child, but yet that's the same people that'll steal them and be the front people to sell them into sex slavery. Listen, this has been a great travesty, but it is the civil rights issue of our time. And it's something that we can do. We can start this fight. We can get this petition going in every state in the United States of America, in every city, in every town, everywhere. As Dr. King said, every hamlet, every village, every township, every municipality. Let's get talking about this. Fathers' rights, okay? And then let's get it established, all right? A woman should not automatically get the children when the husband and wife separate or the boyfriend and girlfriend separate. The man should automatically get the children. Okay? It should only be in special cases where the woman get the children. I do accept that a man cannot turn a young lady into a lady. But we are going to be honest, and if this female that you leaving has no clue about how to be a wife or how to be a mother and isn't interested in how to be a wife and how to be a mother, then we have to be willing to say bye and let those children go with the father. We have to understand that child support is not on our side. They are here doing the wrong thing to us intentionally to get the outcome that they want, and they getting that outcome. Unsafe communities, families in derelict, broken up and mad, and the families are so busy fighting with each other, they can't even realize that the instigator is child support in the court system. Men recognize that, but the women are so angry that they're not paying attention to it, and in some cases they are paying attention to it, but they're so angry they don't give a damn. They're gonna do it anyway. So usually when I deal with ladies like that, if they understand the full consequences, the full fallout of what's happening, sometimes some of that fallout is not what they intend to happen, so they will back off. Okay, so the fallout that's happening, ladies, is they are keeping their penitentiaries full because your young son doesn't have that first connection with his father, with the male, like he's supposed to. His first connection is being with a female, and that's not natural. That's not right for his social development, for his just mental development, everything. It needs to be a man. Now, I know that that the government and a lot of the people in it are liars. And I know that they have taken advantage of us on every score about everything. So this should not be no stretch to nobody that them people done lied to us again, and this is being exposed. All right, because it's the babies that they after, and we know it. All right, and not only do we know it, we see it. If you don't believe me, pull up these youth jails, pull up these youth offender penitentiaries. Okay, where they going from the youth facility to the adult facility. Pull it up and look. All the commonality is they have no positive male role models in their life. They hanging around a bunch of boys that don't have nobody, and they all sitting there blind, leading the blind, trying to figure out how to do something, and the only plan they can come up with is take something from somebody, hurt somebody, do something bad. And child support, the attorney general, the governor, the state, local, federal government, they all know this. The public education system knows this. Okay? They're not saying nothing about it. But the worst of all is the minister at your church knows this. Every minister at every church, I don't care that he come from a single parent household. If he reading this word right here, you understand me? This word, okay, then he knows full well that everything I'm saying is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You see what I'm saying? But he'll sit there and get your dollars, all right, every Sunday, and won't say nothing. Won't say nothing because I don't understand why nobody wants to tell the ladies the truth. And nobody wants to try to do right by the children. When all of the medical knowledge and all of the medical facts out there, all of the psychological knowledge and psychological facts, any facts that you look at from any way, is all going to point to one end, that the father is the better of the two parents. So that's going to be the last question that I look up here today, is based on the question I'm going to basically ask is, based on, studies, which parent would a child be better served being raised by? All right, because we got to see which one of the two. All right, because it ain't no sharing. Okay, so based on sorry about that. I had a little typo in there. So what I asked Google was, based on studies, which parent should a child be given to in the event a couple separate? Okay. And it says, what do psychologists say about children separating from their parents? Overall, the effects of parent-child separation are consistently negative on children's social, emotional development, well-being, mental health. They are most severe with separation or prolonged. We know that already, so that didn't answer the question, but I'm not trying to be biased. That's why I'm reading it to you cold turkey. You understand? Sometimes, what parent? They go around and the question, and they don't want to answer it because it'll be too, you see. So now all they're trying to do with this is they're trying to say how the children feel, all right, the effects of what's happening to the child. Okay, so I'm gonna try to be a little more specific with my question and say directly which parent would a child benefit more from in a separation of the parents? Okay, so that's what we're gonna type in there and see what they say. They want to talk about tax benefits. You know what I'm saying? They talking about claiming as far as, you see what I'm saying? And I didn't ask them nothing about claiming. I said, which parent would a child benefit more from in the separation of the parents? And they didn't want to answer the question. But when you look at the studies answer the question, and they answer the question definitively. They just don't draw the conclusion for you. And I was trying to get Google to go ahead on and draw the conclusion right here, see if it would just spell it out. Because I don't I've already looked and read, okay? So let's get that straight from the understanding. I'm not looking this up and not knowing what the result's going to be that I'm giving you. But I know that there are certain questions when you ask, they're going to not answer. Like if you ask Google, when you can no longer peacefully address your government with your grievances because your government will meet you with violence, what are you left with? Google will not answer that question. But the answer to that question is you're left with war. So listen, let's get this petition going. Thank you for listening this far. All right, let's get fathers' rights established. Please like, share, subscribe. My Cash App is $Gil Muse. This has been wonderful. I didn't mean to go so long, but I have so much passion on this subject. So thank you for listening to me, taking time out of your day. I love you, and I love everybody. Peace.